Hey everyone, welcome back, and I hope you are doing better than me. I am on the path of recovery. My voice is still a bit tired and I'm coughing from here and then. So today it's gonna be quite similar to yesterday's video, but I wanted to give you an update now that I have reached T14 red maps, which is what you're looking at right now. Keep in mind, this map was kind of bad for showcase actually, because I noticed afterwards they have monster physical damage reduction, so I basically have like, I don't know, like 60% of my damage or something like that. I guess it's a truthful showcase and not a clickbait. I just wanted to share some tips about how to gear up and progress your Bleed Gladiator, but it would work for any other melee builds, physical melee builds actually. I also have some more info about settlers with like mapping devices that I've unlocked recently. Before we jump into it, I'd like to ask you to comment what do you think of this league so far, and maybe if there is anything I can help with, if you have any question about the build, my strategy to build currency and items, etc. If you don't understand something about PoE in general. Anyway, please do so. It's really nice to see what you have to say, and I also want to thank the elite 2% of subscribers who watch my videos, and hopefully you'll want to join after you finish watching if you enjoyed it. Just a quick reminder that when I reach 500 subscribers, I release an essay-ish video about the game design of Flasks, as game dev and game design is one of my biggest hobbies. So first I'm gonna share some quick crafting tips. You don't have to craft your gear, you can just buy it if you're in Trade League, but it will save you quite a lot of currency unless you get very unlucky. Chances are that you actually make some money by selling intermediary gear or crafting for profit. Don't worry, I'm just sharing very easy tricks, and it's not complicated for super high-end gear. It's just to get you to get your voice tones, etc. And if you have never crafted before, I think it's the best league to get into it, because we got the the currency exchange system now. So if you need an essence or some harvest juice or some other bubblegum currencies, you can very quickly get it without any frustration. So I really encourage you to try this league. Talking about the gear and how to craft it if you wish to do so. Yeah, so the armor isn't very interesting to talk about. You just, at this stage in the game, you just want maximum life and resistances basically on armor or evasion rating basis, because we use what's it called? Iron reflexes. So our evasion rating gets converted to armor. If you get chance to suppress spell damage, it's nice, but you basically need to be capped for it to be really reliable. So on the first version of your gear, just don't bother too much with suppress spell damage. And get some movement speed on your boots, of course. Try to cap all your resistances and also get positive or near positive chaos res, and later we will try to up the chaos res. On jewelry, it's nice if you can get an empty prefix to craft the mana cost veiled suffix. If you don't have it unlocked, you can either farm June, which I really recommend because you can get good items just from unveiling, and you will at some point need a lot of crafting recipes. You don't need to unlock all of them, but I recommend it. And otherwise, if you don't want to craft, to farm June yourself, you can buy, I don't know if I have any. No, you can buy items that have a prefix or suffix called elreon unveiled. Let me show that. So on the trading website you can type elreon and you will get this. There we go. Yeah, I think elreon stuff is just rings and amulets, and it should always be a prefix because the craft you want is a prefix. So just buy a few of these. They usually go out for 3 chaos right now. You won't. No, normally you will not need a lot of them unless you're very unlucky to unlock the craft. The nitty-gritty have a weapon. I had a few weapons while leveling, maybe like 3 or 4 that I have looted or crafted. My first big one was from unveiling actually. I unveiled, let me go to my hideout. I unveiled it was Impale, this one, but like a higher tier, so it was like 130% phys damage or something, and then it had an empty prefix, so I've crafted this one, and it reached 300 something damage. And then I recommend you either spam screaming or above essences of contempt to guarantee the damage range, and then if you have an empty prefix you can see how much you can craft either this one, but I'd rather recommend one of these. If you have a low budget in terms of chaos, you can try even with alchemy orbs for some time. It doesn't matter if you go impale or bleed or even poison, I think, doesn't matter either, or blind or whatever, but these are all veiled, so you unlock them through June. Yeah, just so if you don't know, from the game you can Ctrl C while having your cursor hovering an item, and then here you create custom, Ctrl V to paste, and you got your item in PoE. You can see it even knows that it's a crafted thing, so you can remove it. You can also have quality, because you might not have quality on your axe when you're crafting it. So you see it's 306 max phys damage. That's the most important stat on your weapon for bleed, just to get the highest bleeds possible. So you see it goes up to 367 with quality, and then with crafting bench you get a craft you want. So for me it's this one because I already have a big person physical damage prefix. But if you add one of these, like tier 2 or whatever, you should craft, as I said, one of these. So ideally this one. So this item is not possible in game. You can't combine these two prefixes. So yeah, I recommend either essence spamming with contempt, or spamming reforge physical with harvest. It becomes more possible to use harvest as you reach yellow maps and higher, because the juice you loot scales a lot with like the tier of the map and the quantity on your map. So early game essences might be easier to get. And yeah, as I said, if you want to, you can just talk to this guy. If you want to buy some, click here, and then you search content. Screaming is like 1 chaos for 1, I think. Oh no, not even, it's 3 for 1. But if you go essences, you might want to get at least shrieking or even deafening to get better prefix. And with reforge trees, this one I have crafted with harvest. I basically just added the bench to this, and I also just YOLO Exile slammed and got a shitty suffix, one of the 2 thing per enemy killed. Attack speed is not necessary, but it feels nice just for the animation time. Also for shield charging around. And what's the transition? Because the shield is a bit more complicated. I recommend getting a shaper shield. Lacquered buckler is maybe the best base or one of the best bases, but just gets either something with a big evasion rating or big armor rating base. Oh, and of course, try to get a high enough item level, like 86 or 85. I think if it's above 83, it's fine. If it's 83 or above, it's fine. You can double check on Craft of Exile if there's a requirement. I don't think it's that high. Anyway, what we want here is the recover life when you block, because it's gonna make you near immortal in maps, as we block crap ton. How much do we have? 90%, and I'm missing a few percent here for the spell block, but yeah. Basically, 9 times out of 10 we don't get hit. So every 9 times out of 10 when we get hit, when we block, we recover 4% of our 4,600, or if even more, yeah, even more recover. So that's 40, 160, 200 something. So you need a Shaper base to roll this, or a Warlord, but it's way more common on Shaper. To know this, you can check on Craft of Exile. Like a buckler or any shield base you have, add the Shaper influence, high level, minus 85. And then you search for, no, cover this one, and here we go. So it says it has 0.5% of weight and 1% in suffix. Alright, must be at least 68 your shield. So yeah, and if we actually go for Warlord, sorry, here you go, it's like 3 times less. Anyway, it has the life tag. Well, let's go back to the Shaper one. You can see it has the life tag, so a way to roll it, and it's how I did it, is to spam harvest life. That's the purple juice. So in maps, try to get as much yellow and purple juice as possible. The blue one isn't that useful for the build. And then you spam until you hit this and see if the rest is good enough for you. You're looking for a lot of armor or evasion rating. Because keep in mind, this increases the shield charge damage, and shield charge is actually very useful for clearing the white mobs. And also blue, sometimes they're a bit too tanky. But for rare, you have to lacerate, of course. So yeah, I actually prefer having a lot of evasion or armor than a lot of life. So yeah, you have a shit life roll here, and I don't have room for a life prefix. And then in suffix you can get some suppress or some resistances. I didn't need resistances at the time, so I went to craft bench suppress. Oh, and when you craft, try to get maybe 2 bases of your item, because if you get one that is like good enough, you can keep crafting the other one and see if it gets better without risking your current good item. Yeah, I think that's it for the items actually. We got some flasks, it's really your usual setup, instance with corrupted blood. I use a Quicksilver and Silver, but that's kind of up to you what you want here. You do need a Granite or a Jade or both. And then you can use a Sulfur Flask if you want. It gives you some damage, and Consecrating Ground will give you some life regen, which isn't mandatory, but it's kind of clunky to stay on the Consecrated Ground sometimes. So I prefer having both Granite, Jade, and this for maximum move speed. About the skill gems, Lacerate. So you can use the normal Lacerate just fine, and you can toggle between Sense Stance for clearing small mobs and Blood for rares and bosses. But at some point you want to switch to Hemorrhage, because it just deals more bleed DPS. and you will stay in flesh and stone in sand stance, because the blood stance does not give you more damage. It does not affect bleed. And in sand stance you take up to 90% less damage based on how close you are to them. So try to hug the enemies when possible. So yeah, and then for links, I think in order of importance is melee phys, brutality, volatility, and then cruelty or multi-strike. The order of these two can be somewhat arranged, reversed, I mean. Because multi-strike is nice for making the skill smoother to use with a high attack speed. And also costs less mana to repeat, since you spend the mana cost only once for the 3 repeats. The rest we got cast 1 damage taken, almost Exile. Don't care about this less rate. Shield charge, I got faster attacks. Maim, because it will increase all our damage. And chance to bleed, I actually don't need that one anymore, but you can replace it with melee phys. And I should actually, I think I have one here. Yeah, just let me double check that I have. No, I don't have 100%. Well, we have to check this in PvP. Anyway, if I have 100% chance to bleed. Moving on, we got Enduring Cries with Urgent Order, so that we cast it way quicker. Use this basically just during bosses to generate endurance charges, or if a rare is taking long and they're running out, because we got endurance charge on kill through some passive, I forgot which one exactly. From this one, and I think there was another one. Yeah, this one. So on kill we got a lot of chance to get endurance charges, so while mapping you don't really need to use it, it's just for when you reach a boss or a tanky rare. Or if you need additional regeneration. Like if you're on DOT ground or something. We got our war banner with more duration support. So drop down this when you same stuff, boss or rare or tanky rare. Flesh and Stone, as Odo talked about. Pride and Herald of Purity for damage. If you go Blood Magic, just get Pride with Eternal Blessing support. Cross Blink is nice for going over ground that you can't go over with Shield Charge, and also it shields. And of course Blood Rage, you usually just have to activate it at the beginning of the map, and then killing things will refresh the buff, but sometimes you have to cast it again during bosses, though it's not super necessary against bosses. Though kinda, because it gives you your Leech as life if you don't have other sources of it. I don't think I do. And I think I've covered all the skills. I have a few empty slots and I'm not sure what I will do about them, but yeah, there's a few options out there. About the passive tree, so some changes is that I spec out of Blood Magic and into some mana cost stuff and mana reservation efficiency here. Here I took some cost of a skill as life instead of mana. I removed the points of onslaught and I'm using a silver flask. I went in here to get this mastery and the Russian physical damage. Keep in mind this physical damage boosts your explosion. So this node is actually quite important for clear, it will feel a lot smoother with it. By the way, I tried a setup with Rigwold's command sword as dual wield, but I did not like it, so if you see some people on Pure Ninja use it. You can try yourself, but I prefer the shield because it's just so much tankier and you don't win a lot of DPS, I think. Also, you lose shield charge, so the clear isn't as smooth, I find. Yeah, I think that's basically all the changes I made. Oh, and I speak into Fortify here, so I don't have to use Fortify support gem. Now, to talk about Kingsmarch, I've unlocked the mapping. I'm not sure when it happened, but somebody saw, oh, I can craft the mapping thing. I think I saw it during my yellow mapping, so I don't know if it's linked to the quests for Singing Exile, etc. and Maven. I have no clue. But I crafted it, and then I couldn't recruit people with mapping skills until rank 7, and it's basically useless to run maps with normal non-mapper settlers. So the way it works, you add some mapping guys in here, you add some identified maps here. At first you can only run white maps, but then you can run yellow maps by upgrading. So I'm not sure if they are much more difficult, because when you... well, I need to take my rewards. You will see the rewards are kind of shitty for now. It's just, well, you get that bit of bubblegum currency. So I just want to show, sure, let's put this here. You see expected map completion. So basically, after 12 minutes, this map will be completed at a certain percentage between this bracket. And basically it will scale the loot based on this percentage. And you also see the chance that one of these runners gets killed in this map. And about shipping, so I don't have anything a lot more info to give about this. My current strategy is just to try to fill these favored resources with my shipments if I can. I try to keep the risk quite low. So far it happened only once that something happened, and it was just one of these dudes died. So it's not too bad. I haven't tried like making a... I will experiment just putting a shitty guy and making his risk very high to see what can happen. We'll see how much resources it costs me, but it's interesting to see what events can happen. If you can maybe force, or try to force, spawning the bosses too. Oh, and by the way, the items they give... okay, so these are from the map, so they have shit available, but these... you can see our item level 86, 85, 84. I'm not sure what it's based on. This one was from... oh, from Ribenfell. Okay, it was from here, so I don't think it depends on the destination. It might depend on the shipment value, or it might also just be like your current progress in the Atlas. I have no clue. So I'm not sure if the runes depend on the location you send the things to. I would assume so. Like if you want war runes, I think they come from Calgar. But if you want like the fire ones are from here, I think. I'm not entirely sure because it's not listed on the wiki yet. It might be on PODB. Have to check. If you were looking for a specific enchantment. So far, the only useful one I found is this one, which looks quite nice. Or one of these, I mean. But there might be more, and there's some that interest me for my next build. Like, I love trigger skills, so I will definitely see what I can cook with this kind of enchantment. And there is a weapon I dropped here. Which gives you, which apparently can hold 3 enchantments, so there might be something to do with this, maybe not. So yeah, about the resources, I use almost all my food because it's not used much for upgrades. We don't need a lot of them. And I try to keep stock of bars, but you can like, a good thing to do is like sending half of your stock on your say, shipments or something. I've also stockpiling what's it called, dust for recommendation, because I will get to trying this crafting soon. And yeah, try to at least have one guy everywhere all the time to process your ores into bars and to get the crops for basically free, just for gold. Ooh, I'm running quite low. Yeah, I just want to mention the gold costs are kind of low. You get a lot more gold in higher tier maps. So feel free to fill like all your farmers and maybe more miners if you are stockpiling too much ore here and you want to create more smelted bars. But yeah, be careful when you upgrade because these get quite pricey and you don't want to run out of gold stopping all your activities. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments, as I said earlier in the video, if you have any question or if you have any request about some explanation. Have a good one. Bye.